Pay me, pay me, pay me my silver now. Pay me or go to jail. Pay me my silver.
Good morning, Bix Weir, roadwork.com with your morning horns, your sip of chaga coffee. I'm going to talk silver today because something so big is happening in Theta. I'm going to save it for the private road. I'm talking to Jenny in a couple hours. I'll be posting it this weekend. Those of you who have seen my graph of the projected Theta chart moves, the 10x move is coming literally at our doorstep. 10x move in not a matter of years, a matter of months. A 10x, something is about to be announced that is so big and so many ramifications. I think 10x is probably understating it. Anyway, if you're not on the private road and you don't have Theta yet, on the private road we have a page teaches you how to buy, stake, and store Theta. Paige did a great discussion on St. Paddy's Day. Paige and I had a great discussion about Theta, how to buy it, all the questions that people had about Theta. I was down in San Diego with her. Go check that out. It's on the YouTube channel. Look up Bix and Paige Live. It has little green stuff on it because it's St. Paddy's Day and we're drinking. But we talk about how to buy Theta today. Yes, Theta will be the number one cryptocurrency out of all of them. Yes, even higher than Bitcoin as far as market cap. Maybe even as far as price. This is not an over-exaggeration at all. If you don't understand what Theta is, how valuable is the internet to you? Can you do anything without the internet? Theta is the absolute number one only chance to save the internet. The internet is breaking very fast. I don't know if everybody knows that. Bandwidth is decreasing like you wouldn't believe. There are no plans to put in tens of trillions of dollars to put in a 5G cell tower on every corner to facilitate what is happening. With the download speeds, the quality of video and gaming takes up 75%, soon to be 85% of all internet capacity. You won't be able to do anything on the internet unless something is done fast, and something is done globally. That's why Theta has gone up so much. That's why we're about to hit a point where everybody on the planet is going to know what Theta is. Everybody on the planet is going to want to have some, and at some point, everybody on the planet will have some Theta fuel. And it is going to be so big, it's going to rock your socks. And I know, I figured it out. What the next, now I'm going to talk to Jenny about it, see what her take is. I know what she's going to say. This is it. This is the thing that turns Theta into a niche little crypto into something that the entire world knows about. And we'll be talking about that this weekend. Join the private road. Go to roadtoroot.com. Right up here, hit subscribe today. It'll take you to the subscription page. It's $2.99 for a year. You get access to everything. All the Jenny Moonstone readings, and including the one we're going to talk about today. This is going to be the impetus for that 10x move. It could be an overnight 10x move, too. It will move very, very fast, and you won't be able to get in. Keep that in mind. All right. Let's talk about the craziness in silver. Silver is the most underappreciated asset, even by many of the people in the silver industry who are trying to keep the lid on silver. Number one in the spotlight right now is Perth Mint, because they have allocated, unallocated, and allocated pooled accounts that have literally run out of metal. I'm sorry, Perth Mint, you're busted for the 90th time. You should have never restarted these programs. Perth Mint just put out their newsletter. What is the number one thing people are talking about in the precious metal world right now? The number one thing is the silver shortage. The number one thing is the undervaluation of silver. The number one thing for anybody in this industry is the talk of silver. The Perth Mint put out their monthly newsletter. Guess how many times they recommend buying silver? Guess how many times they mention silver? 0. The number one thing in the precious metals industry is the shortage of silver and the undervaluation of silver and the massive concentrated short position by the banks in silver. Everybody's talking about it. The Perth Mint refuses to discuss it in their monthly newsletter. As a matter of fact, they just talk about gold. Oh, gold is the greatest thing. There's so many reasons to buy gold. Why? Because there's massive amounts of gold that they can get their hands on, and they're not naked short gold like they are in silver. Look at this newsletter. This is one of the premier precious metals retail places and wholesale places. Precious metals meaning gold, silver, platinum, palladium, maybe a little copper. Does it shock you that the whole world is talking about this silver shortage and the lack of silver available, and yet the Perth Mint in their April newsletter do not recommend to buy silver, don't even mention silver, but they're gushing about gold. Look at this newsletter. The gold price correction continued in March amid hopes of a global economic revival in the wake of COVID-19. With so much action in the price, the Perth Mint's listed products and investment research manager Jordan Alicio provides exhaustive analysis of the factors at play. It's highly recommended reading in which Jordan reveals how many investors are reacting to the price plunge and becoming bargain hunters. Not silver, mind you, only gold. Do not talk about silver, Jordan. If you talk about silver, you'll be fired from the Perth Mint. Insightful as ever, the Perth Mint's global gold market advisor, Kevin Rich, looks back at the 12 months to see what lessons have been learned from the crisis and how they're helping investors curious about where precious metals markets are headed. How could the Perth Mint even say in any sense of reality that they're trying to help precious metals investors? They just did. How they're helping precious metal investors curious about where precious metal markets may be headed. Hey, precious metal investors, get yourself physical silver in your own possession. If anybody holds your silver, I don't care how nice they are, you probably won't get it. If the banks crash, you won't get it. But if it's an allocated or pooled allocated and you don't have instant access to it, you don't have anything. You got squat diddly. Perth Mint, I hear there's over $1 billion. John Adams saying there's over $1 billion worth of money invested in these just the dumbest concept ever. The concept that you give a Rothschild banker, the guy who runs the Perth Mint is a Rothschild banker, your metal to hold for you, the concept is ridiculous. Anyway, they go on. And they make a decent case for gold. I would say the best case for gold is it's rigged as well. The worst case for gold is there's millions of tons, there's not 200,000 tons. They regurgitate this stupid 200,000 ton thing again. Listen to this. On a different tack, did you know the entire amount of gold mined throughout history probably amounts to less than 200,000 tons? Bullshit. It is such bullshit. Time and time again. Even you gold bugs who are saying, oh, Bix, you don't know what you're talking about. There's no gold in the Grand Canyon. There's no gold at Chocolate Mountain. There's no gold in the Philippines. Read Sterling and Peggy Seeger's book, Gold Warriors. They document it. They spent their whole lives documenting it. But the power over the control of the narrative is so strong through the bullion banks, through the media, through that criminal Jeffrey Christian, that toupee-loving mother plucker. The power to obfuscate the truth is unbelievable. There are millions of tons of gold available in the world and even more millions in the ground. All throughout the Grand Canyon, all throughout the West. This is not a secret to anybody who does 5 minutes worth of research. But Jeffrey Christian will tell you in the entire history of the world, there's only 200,000 tons of gold that have ever been mined. That's bullshit, Jeff, and you know it. By the way, Jeffrey Christian was part of Goldman Sachs when Robert Rubin said, oh, Jesus, we got a gold problem in the 1980s. We got a gold problem. Let's split off this pathetic little excuse for a human, Jeffrey Christian, into his own company. We'll get all the bankers to tout that company. CPM Group. Say, oh, they're the experts on gold and silver. We'll have them say, oh, these tinfoil hat wearing people and silver and gold believe there's manipulation. And then, of course, it was proven. Where's Jeffrey Christian to come out and say, I was wrong, sorry, people, after decades of calling us tinfoil hat? This guy, why is he still in business? Why is he still trotted out in places like Kitco? Places like Kitco who have naked short positions in their pooled accounts? Because they are running a scam. And the scam's got to keep going, so they've got to trot somebody out who's supposed to be neutral. So Robert Rubin, yes, the ex-Treasury Secretary, told Jeff Christian, go start a CPM Group. We'll fund you. All good banksters will give you money. You spout our lies. And Robert Rubin went around to the central banks and leased all their gold out. You don't want it to sit in the bank. We'll pay you almost nothing lease rate, but hey, at least you'll get something. And then they sell the gold and suppress the price. Although they don't need physical metal to suppress the price anymore. You can do it on the COMEX with the click of a mouse. You want to see something hysterical? This will make you cry. It's so funny. This is the amount of the LBMA, the London Bullion Market Association. It's not even an exchange. They don't even call themselves an exchange. Look at the average daily volume on the LBMA. This is supposed to be real silver being delivered. Look at this day. This is a classic day right here. This was, looks like probably in July. 450 million ounces of silver were transferred in a day, according to the LBMA. Look at the average. It's like 100 million ounces every day. You know how many truckloads of silver that is? Yes, I know they claim, well, the Bix, it's really, the silver's all there. It's just a transfer of paper ownership. That's why it is like this. Bullshit. It's a freaking lie. 100% a lie. Even the transfer of ownership is bullshit. Look at the volumes, my friends. If Jeffrey Christian is correct and there's only 200,000 tons of gold that has ever been mined, then all the COMEX and all the LBMA are full of shit. Because there's millions of tons and millions of tons traded every year. Look at the volumes. Silver is off the charts. It's ridiculous. Over 100, I think the LBMA, now the LBMA is different because they only count net transfers. These numbers are actually 3 times as much. JP Morgan trader, forgot his name, Peter something, years back said, hey, the net numbers are not real. The real numbers are 3 times or more greater than what is reported as the net numbers. Because he was trying to justify why so many, why gold was not, the volumes are so great it can't be manipulated. Bullshit. It's banks trading back and forth to each other with computer programs. Those computer programs are controlled by Virtu Financial, the guy Vinny Viola. He was the guy who split off, same time Bernie Madoff split off. Bernie Madoff was a computer rigging operation. Vincent Viola was a computer rigging operation. It was called EWT LLC back then. It changed its name to Virtu Financial. This is how the criminal cabal work. So this is all bullshit. The silver stockpiles, look what's happened in the last 6 months to the silver stockpiles on the COMEX. We're exactly where we were. Somebody threw all that metal in and somebody pulled all that metal out. And this is continuing to fall. If you believe in the COMEX data, if you believe in SLV data, if you believe in anything that is controlled by these bankers, it's a lie. It's a flat out lie. Back to the Perth Mint, they have 3 articles on why you should buy gold. 3 articles on why you should buy gold when the whole world is talking about silver, and the Perth Mint is supposed to be a retail supplier to the world and a wholesale supplier. This whole monthly newsletter should have been about silver. If they give a shit about silver, it would have been all about silver, all about the opportunity to invest in the most price-suppressed asset in the history of the world in the last 170 years. But they don't mention it at all. Here's where we are. Yes, they are trading massive amounts of silver on the COMEX every day, almost 500 million ounces yesterday. The numbers are just staggeringly stupid. And the CFTC seems not to care. No, they run cover. Here's where we are as far as deliveries. Now, John Adams was talking about, I'm hearing huge deliveries. I'm not so sure. I mean, it's all fraud. It would have to be something big would have to happen. They're at 100,009 contracts of open interest. That's, 550 million ounces. That would be a lot, right? But remember, these things, as they get near the end of the month, the banks just chop it off. They either buy out their position, which is rare, or they roll it over, and they any way they can get out of their position without losing money. Prices are low. We got to see the prices go up. I think we are going to see the prices go up, which means the banksters will be losing more money, so they'll fight even harder. So right now, we got to look at 15 trading days left in the month. Let's say they do, what did they do yesterday? They knocked off 6,000 contracts. Let's say they do 6,000 every day for the next 15 days. What is that? That would be... All right, I'm going to pull out the calculator. I know this one, but 15 times. We'll do it times 6149 equals. That's 92,000 contracts. It would only leave us with 17,000 contracts, which would be still the largest. That would be right around the largest. So if they continue, but that's the thing. You don't know what they're going to do. You don't know what their plans are. What we do know is there's very little silver to be allocated to this game. I would say 99% of it is going to come from JP Morgan leasing it to the shorts, because JP Morgan ain't short anymore. But they want the game to keep going. So if there is a delivery that is over 80 million ounces, the old record, I think it was 85 million ounces. The only place that silver can come, I think the Perth Mint is out. Macquarie already showed us that. Remember, I believe Macquarie is the operating arm on the COMEX for the Perth Mint. Clearly, they use someone. Clearly, they're on the COMEX, futures and options. It even says it in their Gold Corp, what things that they offer. So right here, where are they? Where's Macquarie? Right here. Macquarie's house account. This is 6 million ounces in the last 2 months. And remember, the allocated pooled account had 6.7. This is 6.2. What are they going to do? They're not going to get any more metal from Perth. That's my take. We'll find out, right? So that's the insanity that's going on. I think we are in a really good position for at least to apply some serious pressure on JP Morgan and friends, the silver market riggers. Remember, JP Morgan is not short anymore. As a matter of fact, they are the opposite of short massively. Not only are they long physical, they are long COMEX contracts, not that many, but they're long on their leases to these banking cabal, who they know are too big to fail banks, have to stay in business. JP Morgan has got them in a ringer. It's how they go long. If you lease metal that they're required to pay back the metal, and they don't even move it, truthfully, and the LBMA has told us that. There is leased metal in the SLV trust that was deposited there by the authorized participant who leased it from JP Morgan, and they also, oh, by the way, short the COMEX. So the guys like Goldman Sachs, HSBC, Deutsche Bank, Bank of America, Macquarie, they are so short on so many different levels. JP Morgan is going to win that game, but at the same time, one of these big banks goes down, JP Morgan goes down, because they're all interconnected. They all have the same customers. If you have a multi-billion-dollar bank go down, the Fed would have to bail out trillions, the entire system. So, where do we go from here? I don't know. I would love to see fair market value, and I think that's what everybody should love to see. If you're an investor, obviously get physical silver in your own possession. If you don't have any, contact Andy Scheckman at milesfranklin.com. Andy, A-N-D-Y, at milesfranklin.com is his email. That's how he takes orders. My number one choice, though, is for you to make a relationship with your local gold silver dealer. Swap all your gold for silver. That should be a no-brainer to everybody. The ratio is what, 70 to 1? I mean, you won't get 70 to 1 because of the commissions and all that. But hell, that ratio is going 1 to 1. Why? Because there's 6 billion ounces of silver in the world. And Jeffrey Christian says there's 6 billion ounces of gold in the world. Now, I think there's even more. So it'll probably go 1 to 10, where 1 ounce of gold, 1 ounce of silver gets you 10 ounces of gold. But they're going to be much higher. I do think gold is going to go to 5 to 10 grand from where it is right now. But silver will do the same, go to 5 to 10 grand from where it is right now. That's how suppressed the price of silver is. All right. Again, I will be talking to Jenny Moonstone in a couple hours. We are talking about some amazing, very soon to happen Theta news that I have discovered. I think other people have discovered it as well. But I put together all my tools because I do not stop at the mainstream analysis. That's where I start, really. And then you got to go into the woo-woo. You got to talk to the psychics. You got to look at the remote viewing sessions. You got to do all of it. And I think I know where we are. And it is at just the front doorstep of one of the biggest moves in crypto history for Theta. And that would be an up move, by the way, Snippy. It won't be a down move, Snippy. It will be an up move. And I hope everybody is in who wants to get in. Again, at Road to Ruta, we teach you how to buy it, store it, and stake it. On the Theta page, I do not do consulting. I'm sorry, I just can't. There's thousands of emails. We have staff now to help people with account issues, like they can't log in and stuff like that. But as for me, just buried. Buried. But it's a good thing. Now is the time to really put in the final work. We got to push the ball over the goal line as far as silver manipulation. Everybody's on board right now. And the Silver Knights are here. It's a spiritual war. It's a global, it's a human war. It's a war in the heavens. It's a war everywhere. The fight to free silver is fought from the silver side. Silver is the best antibiotic. And we have scum and vermin all over our banking system. Silver will clear that out. The rise of silver will destroy the vermin. Keep that in mind. This is Bix Weir, roadtoruta.com. I'll talk to you guys later.
Well, you start with Bitcoin and you know nothing. Then you first wallet, then you think you got something. Secure your private keys. If you don't, all your coins will be gone. Now you're a coiner and it's time to learn all. Banking tech, social net, the cryptos are hard. But you gotta get your feet wet, gotta get your mind set for change. It's the way of the crypto warriors. We're changing our world day by day. The way of the crypto warriors. We can't rely on the bank, there's no way. The way of the crypto warriors. After all the crazy politics fade away, if you got something to say, live the crypto warrior way. There's Kenny Bozak, he'll show up in your town. No fiat in his pocket, always dressed like a clown. But he pulls out his phone, always pays for what he owes in crypto. Big old John Kim releases all Charlie's doom. Satoshi Dynasty around with John in chat rooms. And he takes care of Litecoin. We know it's the right off the chain. And it's the way of the crypto warriors. Changing our world day by day. The way of the crypto warriors. We can't rely on the bank, there's no way. The way of the crypto warriors. After all the crazy politics fade away, if you got something to say, live the crypto warrior way. That's the treasure chest of Joe's in the know, and he teaches us tech, cause he's seen a few wrecks, so go slow. It's the way of the crypto warriors, changing the world day by day. The way of the crypto warriors, lie on the bank, there's no way. The way of the crypto warriors, after all the crazy politics fade away. If you got something to say, live the crypto warrior way. Cause everybody wants to be a hero. Everybody has dreams of a better day. If everybody knew they can change everything that they do, everybody live a crypto warrior way.